woke up about 5:15 once again today, and yeah, it's getting a little bit grueling. Getting a little tired, but this location's definitely worth it because we headed out to Horseshoe Bend outside of Page, Arizona. Normally I try to shoot this a little closer to the edge and not get any of the foreground rocks in it. You know, just a clean bend of the river. But with the 15 to 30 being such a wide field of view, I think the foreground rocks add a new element to it. A couple of those images just before sunrise were some of my favorite. Even though I'm terrified of heights, I try to get as close to the edge as possible. You have to take risks both physically, your physical safety, and mentally. Like I said, I do not like heights, so mentally I have to get over that fear of getting close to the edge because you want to get as much of that river as possible. Just play it a little bit safe and know your limits, but push yourselves a little bit.
I don't know, I slept odd last night. I feel like every time I'm in Indian country, my dreams just go completely off the charts. So I had a dream last night that it snowed in at Horseshoe Bend, and I was toward the edge, and all of a sudden I just started sliding off, and then I just fell in, and that was that. You know that it's relatively safe, so you just have to be careful and arduous. It didn't snow in today, so I felt pretty confident. I feel like every picture I see of Horseshoe Bend is virtually the same. It's to line up the horizon, get there with a nice wide-angle lens, and wait for the light. So today I was trying to look for a different perspective. When I was at the edge, I did use the live view function of the camera. It allows me to get the camera out further over the edge and still be able to see what the shot's gonna look like. Did you nail it?
Oh, yeah, like every time, it's very similar. Like you said.
Dreams are just signs of things, metaphors, you know, sometimes like pictures. So in the dream, I fall into Horseshoe Bend, and I was trying to figure out, because I woke up and I, you know, for a couple of minutes before I went back to sleep, all I could think about is what would be the best way to land.
I would say you're going pretty quick. It might actually help if you hit something and bounce off of it.
Well, I just was wondering if there's a chance of survival.
There's always a chance, I guess. Like if you hit this road, probably not.
How far do you have to go to reach terminal velocity? Because I'm assuming that like 125 miles an hour, there wouldn't be much chance of anything.
Fluffy sand? What do you think, maybe?
I mean, that would be my hope, that if I fell into Horseshoe Bend, I would survive. Ken, do you believe it's 1,000 feet drop?
It looks nowhere near 1,000 feet.
It's so deceptive because it's so massive and it's so wide that it doesn't look as deep as it is, I think. How long will it take to free fall 1,000 feet? About 8 seconds. That's the amount of time it would take to drop in Horseshoe Bend, 8 seconds.
I have a bad fear of heights as it is. And you want me to start thinking about, oh, if I fall off of here, I'm gonna have 8 seconds to think about it.
Hey, you ever been on a plane that like lost a couple of engines? I have. And what happens is you think people would freak out and scream and stuff, but it just becomes really silent. Like people are just contemplating their own mortality.
So I'm not gonna think about those 8 seconds anymore.
If you keep your wits about you, there are ways to influence your velocity and lessen your fall. Lesson 1, grab an object on the way down. Try to break your fall into parts. So like, you know, for example, don't just hit the bottom of Horseshoe Bend, just like, you know, bounce off the wall.
You slip and you fall, and you're gonna have your wits about you to go, I need to propel myself towards that wall so I can bounce off of it a few times.
Well, it's just something to think about. Relax your body. Your arms and legs to make sure they're not locked. Bend your knees, but don't bend them too far. You want to like slow your fall using an arched position. So like, you know, create as much resistance. No, that's like a bunny. Put your arms out like this, and then your legs back, kind of arched. No matter what height you fall from, you should always try to land on your feet. Land on the balls of your feet, and then try to fall on the side. So it's like, we'll have to practice this later.
We'll practice from about a foot, I would hope.
Put your hands up on your head like this, because you're gonna bounce. You're gonna bounce no matter what. So you gotta protect the head from the bounce. This one may seem obvious. Get medical help immediately.
This is all very good to know. Next is actually one of my favorite locations, and probably a location many people seen images from. Antelope Canyon, an outstanding place. The shapes, the shadows, the highlights, the color. I could stay there all day.
Well, the rock forms because the water over time carved through the sandstone and create these beautiful slots. The one that we're in today, Lower Antelope Canyon, goes down, I think, to about 125 or 140 feet deep at its deepest point.
The way the formations have formed in there, actually with this, you drop down into a crack in the earth and you just walk through this amazingly thin, curvy location. I mean, at times it's only about 2 or 3 feet wide.
I think Ken will shoot like 1 picture to every 10 pictures I shoot. Because he's a better photographer. But, you know, there's also something to be said for the numbers game of photography. And the more that you take, the better chance you have of getting something that you want. You know, you pretty much can't take a bad picture at Antelope Canyon. Ken and I have traveled together for 12 or 13 years, various places all over the country, taking pictures. And many years ago, back in the film days, I started photobombing his nature pictures.
How many pictures are you in of mine? I'm sitting here doing a panorama. All the good ones? Yeah, I know. I'm doing a panorama in Bryce. There's Andre's head in the last one. See how he's cutting me out of the frame.
Looking all different, looking all different ways. Be observant.
Always look backwards.
No. Look around. 360. All the
look up, look down,
ways,
left,
look right,
behind.
Unbelievable.
What are you taking a picture of the lines?
No, it's taking a picture of your hand.
Obviously. This is what you gotta do. This is how he feels right now, right? That's how Andre feels right now. He's feeling a little shook up.
Whoa. That's brilliant. Brilliant.
Are you guys still shooting? One more shot. I'll be done in 1 second.